G'day, today we're going to have a look at the mini metro level of Santiago and the achievement that comes along with this one called Mapu Chuco, where what we need to do is have 1,500 passengers delivered using only one tunnel. So that's our one tunnel right there that we've already got going. Um, and basically we're just going to have to deal on the two different sides of the water. Now generally it seems like on this bottom half we have the squares. I have played this level already. I did get it, but I had issues with both audio and video in two separate attempts, and that has me attempting it again now. So at the moment we have circles, triangle and square on this red line, which is generally how I recommend most lines that you want at least a minimum of, but we might start to take we might eventually take the triangle off that if we think that there's too much sort of work for the red line to do, because it's having to move so many uniques to and fro across the river. But as it stands, we'll just let it just keep that circle unique to itself, and just travel between the square and the triangle. We'll just take a line to start off with here. Now I think a lot of what makes this level easy or hard is positioning of your uniques. And we just want to make sure that not all the uniques are on the one line, but regardless, the red line is going to be sending those uniques across the water. So you're going to have a chokehold of the red line either way. If ideally we could get an interchange on either end of that red line, that would be a real problem solver. But I don't think that interchanges are that forthcoming. So we will just sit with the three lines for now, um, just while we're looking all right. Now I don't like putting the uniques at the end of a line. Ideally we want them as close to the red line as possible. So we might adjust this at some point, but everything about what's going on down the bottom here isn't great. With all the triangles on one side, all the circles on the other. If we can, we would like to see them sort of get obviously a bit more diversified. It doesn't seem like that's a game it's going to want to play. Now generally I build with lines. You can see here that I haven't sort of looped any of my lines. And some people ask me about that, why I don't loop lines, why I'd rather go straight. And that's because it's just personal preference. I've heard some people say that looping is more efficient, and it may well be. But for me, I find that this is an easier way to sort of see what I'm doing, and if there's any sort of issues, I know how to quickly more like solve them, because I've found that sometimes with loops, especially if you've got two trains going opposite ways in the loop, they might not collect um, everything at the stations, whereas this way they pretty much always will get everything unless they can go two different ways. Um, so we'll just start to we might put him on the other end of that just to make that closer to this connection point. So we'll give brown a second train because they're starting to look a bit busier, and we'll give yellow, who's dealing with the diamond, yellow. Yeah, we'll get yellow that as well. Since blue doesn't have any uniques, hopefully they're not going to be in as bad a situation. And that's not great having three circles at the end here, but we'll just work with it for now, see what else we get around here. No, actually, we might give that to these guys. Just be good to get another train on here, but we're already on Saturday, so hopefully it's not far away, but that's becoming a pretty long line. And it's also a bad line. There's no real way to divide that up to give it to a second, to split it to a second line. Ugh, now there is. so we'll take that off him. We'll go 1, 2, up. Take that. Leave that there for now. Yellow doesn't need him. Actually, I might just give that to yellow for now. Never mind. If nothing else, these are very smooth lines that we're looking at here. Now I'm just going to give that to red for now. Essentially, if we can give red a carriage, we'll give the train to this guy. Hopefully that just means that red can move more stuff, and as opposed to it having to drop things off to then give to someone else, it can there's no nice way to do that. Oh, maybe if I go, let me think, 1, 2, 3, take this guy off him, he can have that. Yeah, let's just pause for a second and move this guy over here. We'll just move this guy over here. So we'll just do a quick cleanup of those stations that aren't looking great. There's a lot to not like about that brown line. We are probably looking at needing to have a line at the top here. The only thing I can say for the brown line is that it currently doesn't have any uniques on it, and I think that's probably the thing that's having it not overflow, is it's very rare for this. I can't imagine this red guy's dropping anything off onto that line. So we'll take the carriage for now. We'll give the carriage to this blue. And we might just give the train to this guy. The problem is that red guy is starting to get a bit under the pump. But luckily they just cleaned it there, which was pretty nice and efficient. Now that's a bad spot for that to end up. So we'll put that there. We might just do that just to take a bit more slack and make that a bit closer to the front. So I'm just going to grab this guy off here and just put him there just to, I realize this guy's not far behind, but we just want to, I guess, approach it as soon as possible. We're looking pretty good so far. Yeah, sorry, can I just give it to red? We definitely want a second train on that red line, so we'll do that now. But I might give the carriage to these guys because they seem to be struggling. But we are on the home stretch. We're over 1,000, and you'll sort of notice that we'll start to sort of pick up a lot of speed in the amount of numbers that we're getting rid of. Now this is awful, by the way. Did I mention that before? We now have 5 circles in a row up here. So we might turn him around, because all we need to do now is just watch the spot fires. Just keep an eye out, make sure that we've got no stations that are overflowing. Because if we can do that, then this should be pretty quick to get us home. So it's probably this red line and the grey line seem to be the two problematic ones at the moment. So I'll just move him. Now this is the plus that he needs a lot of moved. So who's waiting on the plus? Where did the plus end up? Down here on this guy. So we're just going to have to quickly move him. Is he operating on his own down there? I think he is. Oh no, there's 2 of them. If he can get rid of all those, Beautiful. Let's save the day there for a little bit. We'll move this guy, just clean that one up. Sort of looking everywhere. We're down to 250 to go. Okay, he should address this one. We'll take the carriage because there's probably not enough time to bother building a line. And we'll give the carriage to brown as well, I think. And we'll give this guy to blue. Okay, so we're really on the home stretch here. 150 to go. Alright, just checking everywhere, checking. 400, 100 to go. Just as long as I can clean this up. I don't think it matters. I don't think he can actually terminate on us fast enough, so we'll move him to there. And it's again the pluses. So who's that? Blue. He's almost there. 470, 25 to go. Don't even probably need to worry about adding that to a line. Sorry, I've got the wrong one. It's this guy that needs to get there. Okay, he didn't clean that up enough, but you can see we've already hit it, so it's 1500. Certainly not pretty, but it'll get you there. Any questions or comments, feel free to check them below. This is my first time back playing this for a lot of months, so forgive me if my style's not up to scratch. But any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them. I already said that, and I'll see you next time. Catch ya.